Ready to go, Chris?
Okay. Simon, you gave yourselves a chance late, but I'm sure that 103 next to the Hawks name is probably what you're most focused on right now.
Yeah, it's unacceptable. Way too many buckets for them. Yeah, we really struggled to put together stops, like groups of stops tonight. We had some moments, but yeah, no, defensively I thought we were poor. And I mean, you set yourself up for a result like that when you give up 21 O boards. You know, it's just not good enough. You know, obviously, people are going to say Rowdy not being out there tonight is our premier defensive rebounder, and you know, I'm sure there's a factor there. But I feel like technique and desire was also lacking a little bit on those boards tonight, and that's really disappointing, especially for a game that's so important.
Is that all it comes down to? Do you feel like it was just that lack of attention to detail, lack of effort, lack of hustle to just want that, just to finish off the defensive possession?
I would say that Sam Froling and Duop Ruth were certainly a big part of setting up Illawarra's win. You know, we blew a lot of coverages as well tonight. You know, we let guys get to their preferred positions on the floor. We let them execute far too easy, and it's a disappointing result for us.
You might think it's a silly question, but do you take a positive that you actually played pretty well offensively to put up 97 points?
No, I mean, you know, we've struggled offensively. We struggled with our shooting. We struggled with our back end of games executing down the stretch. I don't think those problems are solved just yet. You know, even down the stretch, even though we scored at 54% from the field and scored 97 ourselves, you know, we executed some plays, or we failed to execute a few plays down the stretch, which maybe would have given us a chance. You know, and that's disappointing.
Oh, Simon, hi Kyle. Simon, the defence has been good the last couple of games. What, like, with so much importance, why was the lack of intensity there through those first sort of three quarters, apart from that stretch in the second where it lifted?
Why was the lack of intensity there? No, well, first of all, I thought Illawarra executed pretty well against the pressure we put up on the ball. In the pick and roll, they got rid of the ball early, which maybe is something that they've not been great at, and that gave them advantage coming downhill. And I thought their passing was good out of that. You know, they made the right choices, finished when it was there to finish, and then laid it off to teammates in a better position. So I thought they executed pretty well. Having said that, at the same time, recovering out of hard shows was not up to the standard that we've probably shown. And then finishing off plays on the O balls. I mean, you give up 21 extra shots to your opponent, you're going to hurt yourself. You know, you're going to tax yourself of the energy. You're going to, you know, it's going to make your defence look worse than perhaps it was.
Can you talk a little bit about that run down 19 in the last, and then you come back and get it back to a possession? What changed in the game?
I think we control a little bit. Well, obviously we raised the tempo a little bit, our pressure up the floor, created a few turnovers, be able to run off that, got some looks, made a few shots. You know, we had a bit of luck there as well. But you know, what did we get to? 5 points. It would have been nice to maybe get a 3 off when we were down 6 side ball play. We didn't get that. We got Joe at the line. You know, we will struggle from the free throw line all night. 10 of 19 there, give up 21 O boards, 10 of 19 from the free throw line. There's a lot for us to work on, and we're in a bit of a hole. You know, that's 3 losses in a row. 4 games I think we've been relatively poor in for significant moments, and we have to find answers.
Kyle, Simon says you're in a bit of a hole. Can you talk a little bit about the feeling amongst the group and the resolve there?
It's a tough one. I mean, there's definitely an aspect of we got to look in the mirror at ourselves individually and hold ourselves accountable, and also as a group at the moment. Yeah, I mean, to put it simply, we got to be better.
There was some strong discussions during the week, I understand. What happens in the next 2 days, leading into the Sydney game from here?
I mean, not much changes for us in terms of preparation. It's a short turnaround. We'll lock into the scout with them, do all the things that we usually go into a game. But as I said, I think it's, as we put our heads on the pillow the next 2 nights, it's about, looking in the mirror and looking at, what we can do as individuals to be better, how we can help the team win. Simon's given us all the right answers. We're doing a great job all the time. He's trusting in us, all those things, and we have to respond. And I feel like tonight I was just a bit disappointed in the group and myself, everybody just, we really got to step up. We got to be better, simple as that. And I know the boys got it. I know we got it in us for sure. It's about finding a way to get that out of us.
Why do you feel like it is falling over, like in this little rut? What's different? Has something changed? Because you've been so good for so long, and now you've got this stretch of 3 games where it's fell away.
You're asking Kyle that, sorry?
Yeah. Sorry, Simon.
No, that's all right.
I think Simon would have a really good answer. So I'd love to palm it over to him, but we've definitely had some moments, some really good moments in those last games. Like I know Simon said, we are in a bit of a rut, but there's some real things that we've done extremely well. And just a couple of things like tonight, for example, the offensive rebounds. It's sort of, we come out of a game and it's sort of one thing that we've slipped on. Maybe it's scout or letting guys get to certain tendencies or whatever it is. So it's kind of, we fix one thing and the next thing we kind of drop on. And I think that's on us, as I just spoke about.
Thanks. Manuel, you're up.
Yeah, Simon, mate, just one from me. Just looking at the stats, Brandon Ashley, 5 of 5 from the field, 11 points, 4 rebounds, 3 offensive. He was really active. He plays less than 9 minutes and fouls out. How can you get? He's second in the league in fouls per game right now. Is it a structural thing? Is it trying too hard? Is it understanding the officiating? I mean, what do you put it down to, and how can you get him to kind of stay on the floor? I guess because that was a big hit for you, having him sit for extended periods and fouling out.
Yeah, I think he tweeted something about having his worst 2 games of his career, the previous 2 games to this. But he didn't get in foul trouble, and we've somehow got to marry up. It's an issue that we go through the film. It's an issue we converse about during the course of the game. Like, he had himself in a good position to get an O-board, Matty, and the hands came up and just a little nudge, got milked a little bit. Now, it happens 100 times during the course of a game.
Yeah.
But he's getting pinged. So you've got to be better instead of getting your hands up and make body contact. So little things like that where we just need to continue to work on. The moving screens, it's something that we haven't seen out of him for a little while, but it brought itself back out tonight. Again, it was probably hammed up a little bit, drew a whistle. One of those ones where a lot of players might get away with it. He's not going to get away with it, So we've had these discussions. We've seen an improvement from that standpoint, but we saw the worst of it tonight. And he's a proud athlete. He's a really good bloke. He's got a really good understanding of the game. But this is an issue that he needs to deal with, and we need to work with him on it. And for this one, it'll be video. It'll be like, okay, what can we do better here? How can you avoid this situation? Because he's a really good player and I want to get him more minutes out there. It meant we had to play Creaky a little longer than I would have liked tonight, and he was struggling. He wasn't in the usual Creaky sort of form. And if we had a fresh and foul-free Brandon Ashley, it would have been a good opportunity to marry him and Joe Chi up as a front line and go a little bigger. And maybe that could have helped us on the boards, but that foul trouble, he and Joe both tonight, it is sort of a bit of a juggling act, and it put a little bit of extra pressure on Creaky.
And just finally from me, mate, just some quick thoughts. You've got a quick turnaround on for Saturday's game against the Kings.
Who are we playing, Matty?
Well, they're riding a 7-game winning streak. They've been pretty tough, and that strange stat that you've never beaten them at John Cain Arena in your history. What are your really thoughts on that matchup?
They've had a good run. It's amazing, the trajectory that they've been on. You know, early doors, they'd get themselves in a good position to win, and they were sort of flubbed it in the last moments of games. And kind of like we have the last few games. You know, even in the Adelaide game, we were poor down the stretch. Let them back in, but we found a way to win in that one. But then, you know, the last Illawarra game, we had ourselves in a good position and we let that one go. Melbourne United, we were probably the better team for the majority of the game. We let that one go. And they've found a way to turn it around. And they've been winning those close ones. They've fallen over the line in a few of them. They fell over the line against Adelaide. They fell over the line against Brisbane. You know, like they've been able to turn that around, which gives us a little bit of positivity that, okay, we can get this done as well. So what do I take from it going into this game? Firstly, we've got to make sure our guys get their bodies right, okay? We've got to make sure that in a short turnaround and a trip home, that we've got to make sure that those guys are healthy, so we'll get the work in tonight. We'll get the recovery in the morning, and we'll have the game plan out to them tomorrow. They'll review that, they'll see it, and then we'll get a walkthrough on Saturday morning. Shit, what day is it? Saturday morning, we'll get a walkthrough in with the players and a download. Now, the record you mentioned, it's an odd one, isn't it? How we've never beaten them, but I think our first year, we gave it, like, obviously being an expansion team, we were right in those games. And, you know, I remember one game, I think it was Sean Bruce hit the top of the backboard and a 3 in the corner, and somehow it dribbled over to one of their blokes who dived on it, flicked it the right direction, it somehow landed in someone's lap and a dunk, and all of a sudden you lose the game. Another one where we've had our going to the rim, and I think Cricky dropped it off to Dane and it spilled out of bounds, and that was another loss. So there's been close games. Even in the last game when, you know, we had 4 or 5 people missing, and it was a 5-point result. So I don't look at them as saying, oh, it's a bogey team. I look at it as a team where, you know, we haven't probably had the rub of the green. And, you know, we'll go into this game and learn from this. We'll go into this game and we'll be confident that we can go and take care of our business. But there's certainly things we need to tighten up in this group.
Thanks, guys.
Cheers, Matty.
Is that it, fellas? Thanks, guys.
Thanks.